What is good, everyone? Welcome to a podcast of four fans. Four fans. This is the Fourcast Philippines. My name is Mark. I am your PR boy next door. With me, as always, is the real deal, JV.
Let's get it.
We have the back-to-back Rookie of the Year. Yes, it is possible. Frankie J.
What up?
And put a face to the name, the human internet troll, the champ. Yan pinagbigyan na kita.
Yun.
Manzano.
Ewan mo, Mark, kulang pa rin eh. Kailangan may ring ceremony tayo eh.
Wow!
Yeah.
Via Zoom.
Uso
Why
na to,
not?
ah.
Via Zoom.
Hindi ka pa rin over sa
Exam.
championship nyo? Ano ba yan?
Yeah, man. The champ is here, bro.
All right. Well, let's see. Maka future episode. But for now, again, this is a podcast of for basketball fans. For basketball fans. And if you're new to this, thank you very much for checking us out. And we do hope that you stay connected with us by subscribing to us, the Fourcast PH, on all our socials, subscribing to us here on YouTube, and following us on Spotify.
Is there?
Now, for this very special episode, as you can see, there's one more person here who you're not probably used to seeing or hearing from. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm a bit threatened kasi siya ata pinaka-legit sa atin.
Oo nga eh.
Mark,
With
what?
his credentials. Yes. I don't know. I'm a bit threatened because
Yeah.
ito lang naman yung credentials niya, guys. He is a former varsity player of Ateneo grade school and high school programs. He is a former assistant coach for the Ateneo grade school basketball club called Eagles Pilipinas. He was an assistant for Ateneo de Manila University's Team B basketball team, former intern for NBA Philippines, and he's a writer for the Los Angeles Sports Nation blogs. And more importantly, siguro, which we can all relate to, he's a lifelong NBA fan, and particularly of the Los Angeles Lakers. Please welcome Philip Sevilla.
Yeah.
Philip,
Yes, sir.
what's
Yes,
up?
sir.
Philip,
Thank you very much for having me, guys. Honored to be here. Honor.
Thank you.
Pleasure always to talk about basketball, anything basketball. So,
And
yeah.
thank you for supporting this humble podcast of ours and for guesting, for taking the time out. We just read off your credentials, and you are officially probably the most, you are officially the most legit in terms of basketball background.
I might get kicked out of this group.
Ay, grabe naman. Hindi.
Di naman.
Mag-iba
Alam mo
yung
yung,
forecast.
alam mo, Mark, buti you saved the best credential for last eh. Yung Laker fan. Sabi ko,
Ayun.
this guy knows basketball. Yun
Tama.
yun.
Tama.
Okay.
Tama.
Ako yung
Pakita mo
gate-
shirt
ako-
mo.
Basta
Pakita mo
Laker
shirt
fan,
mo.
alam mong good
Ako
choice
yung
yan. Good choice.
gatekeeper ng guest dito eh. Nung nakita ko, Laker fan, pwede yan.
Okay.
Oo,
Approve,
madami
approve.
kaming sinabit na guests. Parang wala siyang ibang lahat ng ibang teams rineject niya lang.
In fact, we wanted to invite Coach Tab. Pero sabi ni Manzano, medyo nag-aalangan siya eh. He was still
Oo,
thinking.
May alam ba to?
Parang
Kung
kulang
huwag
sa
kakilala niya si
credentials.
Coach Tab. He knows Coach Tab, baka mamaya kung anong
Oo.
masabi niya. But
Di
yeah,
yan,
thank
di
you,
yan.
Philip, for joining us. Siguro just to get our viewers and listeners to get to know you more, can you tell us a bit about yourself in terms of your basketball fandom or your journey in basketball? Short lang,
Yeah.
of who you are as a fan.
Okay, yeah. So siguro, I think first thing about me is I've practically been playing basketball my whole life. So I turned 23 in 2020 and I started playing basketball halos 20 years ago na. Like, I really started mga 2 or 3. Like, my dad bought me one of those, like, Little Tykes goals pa nun, yung pambata. So, doon ako nagsa-start. Nagsushooting lang sa bahay. Tapos, I think, I've been influenced talaga by my family big time. Because my dad, Bambi Sevilla, played UAP for Ateneo back in his day.
Mhm.
And then, especially my titos, my dad's cousins, my relatives are all basketball fanatics, especially because my titos also Rosella, who's a former PBA player,
That's nice.
Wow.
coach of FEU now. So obviously I'm also
And a
related to
legend.
Nash Rosella. Very
Yeah,
much
yeah.
so. Philippine basketball legend. So growing up, that's who I was really watching. And then aside from that, Yuri Escueta, who played for Ateneo, is also my relative. He's also my tito. He's the assistant coach now in Ateneo. So yeah, those guys were really big influences for me growing up, playing basketball, obviously, with the family and watching them. I like it's basically how every kid is. Like you watch someone on TV, especially someone that you know, since it's my family. Parang I got influenced talaga by them, and then obviously by the NBA. Being a lifelong NBA fan, very big influence, especially here in the Philippines, as you guys know. So.
Right.
Yeah. So throughout grade school, high school, nag-varsity ako sa Ateneo. I never made it to the UAP level, but I was very much prominent in their program throughout. Then throughout college, like college was pretty much after my varsity playing year, so I still continued to play, especially I used to play with JV back in our leagues in Ateneo College.
You know.
Yeah, he used to.
Yeah.
IAC, and in our male league called MIB before. Yeah,
Right.
JV used to kick my ass. Like,
Wow.
yeah,
Sasabihin
JV
ko
pretty
lang.
good.
Wow.
Sabihin ko
Yeah.
lang,
Really?
last
Yeah.
year ko sa college was your first year.
Yes,
So,
yes.
nung nakita kong maglaban tayo, naisip ko sa sarili ko, I'm leaving Ateneo into good hands.
Nox.
Wow.
Parang
Thank you
parang
na lang,
passing
thank
of
you
the
na
torch,
lang.
no? Ganon.
Ayun, pwede naman ako mag-retire. Yung nakita ko ni
Wow.
Yeah.
Pero hindi siya
Philip-
forced retire. Parang hindi siya forced retired kasi fourth year ka na or something.
Wala na siyang playing years eh.
Hindi. I chose to...
Baka wala rin playing time.
Oo, wala rin playing time.
Yeah.
Nabos ni Philip.
Yeah, so yeah, I still love to play recreationally, like before the pandemic happened and all, join leagues and stuff. And then throughout college, I tried continuing my passion for basketball in different ways aside from playing. So I tried getting into coaching,
Right.
tried coaching kids, joining basketball events, those kind of things. And then I was able to intern in NBA Philippines.
Mm-hmm.
And up to now, yeah, I'm been trying to write for a sports blog in LA, and yeah, I'm just trying to really continue my passion for basketball in different ways aside from just playing and watching, being a fan and all that.
Right.
Yeah,
So, if I may ask,
na talaga.
yeah, if I may ask, I think it was mentioned in your credentials. You're a diehard Laker fan, much
Yes,
more
sir.
so diehard Kobe fan, and I just want to know how
Yes,
that
sir.
started. You mentioned about
Okay.
how basketball started for you, but how did the fandom start for you?
I think pretty much the Laker fandom, I guess it's also a little family influence. My
Right.
dad's favorite player is Magic Johnson, and hence favorite team niya in Lakers.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I have relatives din kasi in LA.
Right.
So I
Okay.
used to visit like once in a while, summer times. And my dad also lived there for a while. So I used to go there often. So obviously when I'm there, I get influenced by Los Angeles.
So it feels like home, no? Ganun.
Yeah. I get to immerse in the Lakerland culture and all that. So yeah, growing up talaga, Kobe was my guy because being a Laker fan and my position kasi was always a guard.
Right.
So obviously, if you're a Laker fan and you're a guard, you look up to Kobe, and that was my
Right.
guy throughout my whole life, throughout his whole
Yeah.
career.
Mm-mm.
And sakto nga, cause like right when he got drafted in 1996, I was born in 1997. So parang right then and there,
Right.
like off the get-go, anything I could remember talaga when I was young, it'd always be the
Mhm.
Lakers and would be Kobe.
Grabe, the
Especially
stars align.
Yeah, especially the 2000 to 2002. Parang those are the championships I first remember as a kid.
Mm-mm.
Si
That's nice,
Philip,
that's
si Kobe yung model, ako si D-Fish eh.
Ah.
Drawing fouls. Pero yun kasi medyo past na yun eh. Ako, I need some backup here, bro eh. Sa current team natin. I guess two questions, no? So, what did you feel when the evil one went over to our team? Alam mo naman siguro yung tinutukoy. And secondly, yung second question is, admittedly, and this is the only time I'll say it, it's bringing us success naman, di ba? Pero how long do you want this to go on? Kasi the success is medyo bittersweet eh, alam mo yan. Parang
Wait.
poison pill eh. Poison apple siya eh.
Manzano,
Ayun.
for the benefit of everyone who don't know who you're referring to, who is the evil one, quote unquote, for you?
I mean, siya yung opposite ng basketball Jesus eh, si LeBron James.
LeBron
Yeah.
James.
Oo.
Okay. Sige, go ahead, Philip.
Okay, so, diba, you asked me how did I feel when LeBron moved to the Lakers. First of all, shocked talaga. Like, I remember I was an intern in the NBA Philippines at that time. I was on the way to work. Tapos biglang may notification na lumabas. LeBron James signs with the Lakers. Like, hindi ako makapaniwala. Tapos pagkadating ko sa NBA office, yun talaga pinag-usapan namin lahat. Honestly, very shocked. I guess you could say nga it's a little bittersweet because, yeah, growing up talaga as a Kobe fan, obviously, you don't like LeBron. Like, especially how the comparisons, people saying LeBron is better than Kobe. Like, it's hard for me like to accept that. I still don't want to accept it, honestly. So, yeah, it was kind of shocking at first. Pero naisip ko rin na this is obviously a good thing for the Lakers since we're gonna have a star who could bring us to the championship, I guess. So, bittersweet talaga. Bittersweet is the best way to describe it, I guess. And then your second question, how long do I want it to last? Siguro if he gives us maybe 2 to 3 more championships, baka okay na. Kailangan. I need more championships, diba? I need more.
That's true.
Philip, alam mo ba, before this season started, I mean, Fourcast season started, like after the LA won, sabi ni Manzano, okay na mag-retire si LeBron this year.
And on a high note.
And on a high note. Wag na siya bumalik ng Lakers. Mag-retire na siya.
I mean,
he went to the Lakers for the movies, diba? Diba, Philip? It's for the movies.
For the branding, for the brand, diba? To build his brand.
It's also for, I think, so he could settle down in California, diba? I think that's the main thing.
Right.
Yeah.
And to be, yun nga, for his movies on Stardom and all that. So,
wow, may kakampi si Manzano,
Bigger than basketball nga.
Yeah, that's actually, I believe the real reason why he went naman to LA was more for his kids.
Right.
Talaga.
I think a lot of
better schools, diba? Better home.
Yeah, a lot of NBA players actually do that. The greatest example is Dwayne Wade. He's living in LA now, and then he has his kids play in LA then. So I think it's really a retirement spot for a lot of NBA players to be there.
Yeah,
so I think
really
LeBron, 36 years old, I think 36 or 37, still playing at a really high pace or really high pace in the game, and he sees this opportunity to play with his with Bronny in the NBA in the future. So I think this is something that's gonna be common in the future than for other NBA players to either play in LA or go to LA after retirement.
For sure.
Yeah. Just to add, Philip, actually I have a follow-up question. Obviously, you mentioned how Kobe was your guy, and to a lot of the other fellow Laker fans or other fellow fans in general, they really looked up to Kobe. Especially generation natin. So obviously, I have to ask, when he did pass away tragically last year, how did that affect you personally? Can you give more insight into how that was almost a year ago, I believe? In a few weeks.
Lapit na. Yeah. Obviously, when I heard the news, very shocked because obviously no one talaga expected something like that to happen. To be honest, umiyak ako. For sure. Umiyak ako pagkagising ko when I read, umiyak talaga ako. And honestly, that whole week it happened. I believe it happened on a Monday kasi here, diba? Parang that whole week, that was just what was on my mind. When I wake up, when I go to sleep, that was what's on my mind. Kasi I think it affected me big time because he was doing so well post-retirement. Diba? I was really excited to see what he had in store. You know, he was writing books. He had so many business plans in mind. And obviously it hurt so much that his daughter was with him. And like, we all think or thought that that WNBA icon, that
Right.
the next WNBA icon. I think that
Mhm.
was very hard to accept. And I think on a personal level, kasi I knew I was gonna move to LA in
Right.
2020,
Mhm.
and I was parang looking forward to actually parang possibly getting to encounter him or something like
Mhm.
that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Uh, Actually, sharing na rin, I actually saw Kobe when I went to Disneyland in
Right.
2019.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
wow.
I saw him with his family. His whole family was there. Sad lang ako kasi bawal magpa-picture kasi may mga
Mhm.
bodyguards.
Ah.
But
Okay.
I think it kind of hurt personally because I was looking forward to possibly encountering him, or yun, just parang knowing that I would live in the same city as him
Right.
was
Mhm.
something I looked forward to. But after all the sadness and the sorrow, obviously the Mamba mentality kicks in talaga na
Right.
Yeah.
the best way I can parang honor Kobe, or the best way I can parang carry on his legacy, is just live with that Mamba mentality that he had
Yeah.
showed us throughout his whole career, throughout his whole life, diba? And
Yeah.
yeah, hanggang ngayon, especially going through everything, everything going on in the world, the pandemic, and also going through everything personally, like my injuries and all that. Like, I just try to remind myself talaga, Mamba mentality, continue pushing on. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Kobe influence talaga.
If I may add lang to what Philip said. Even though you're not an or a Lakers fan,
Yeah.
or a Kobe fan at heart, or you can feel the absence of Kobe after he passed away. Just because of his contributions to basketball in general, more so with his contributions to women's basketball. Just right
Mm-hmm.
before when he retired, he was so vocal about the WNBA and how it's rising, and eventually now it's become more popular throughout the United States, at least, and for us basketball lovers. And the impact that he brought to the basketball world worldwide is really, you can't really explain it.
Yeah.
It's that big, and everyone is really affected by his passing, and
Yeah.
it really shows until now. Sometimes I think about, oh my god, parang di pa rin ako mapakaniwala na wala si Kobe. So
Yeah.
I'm not his biggest fan, di ba? So it's a really strange feeling, and thanks Philip for sharing that insight, and
Yeah,
as
of
a Kobe
course.
fan and as a Laker fan, we appreciate it.
Yeah. I was affected by his death even if I'm a Spurs fan. So obviously other side ako, 'di ba? Tim Duncan ako, Big 3. So it's an undeniable fact how he's changed the game and the lives of not just this generation but everyone in the whole world, I guess. No, who knows
Yeah.
him with that Mamba mentality. So thanks for that, Philip. And then so we're switching gears a bit.
Yeah.
So we move on with that Mamba mentality as fans. And speaking of being a fan in today's age, we want to talk about the evolution of what it means to be a fan. So obviously now mas marami ng platforms and ways to catch the NBA.
Yep.
You can watch all the games on League Pass, diba? Or sometimes
Yeah.
highlights on YouTube or on Twitter or on Facebook. That's what keeps you updated. I want to ask you, like personally, how do you like? I'm sure now you have other things going, since you're now not a student anymore.
Yep.
But let us know, how do you? What's your way of parang watching the NBA or keeping in pace with what's happening in the NBA? Yeah. What? How do you
Yeah.
keep in?
I mean, I think people, especially of our generation, we rely on social media talaga a lot
Yeah.
nowadays. And for me, social media is very helpful talaga for keeping up to date, not just to anything basketball or sports related. It's really anything, any
Yeah.
news or whatever. And yeah, I just really rely on my phone. Different sports apps, yung mga Bleacher Report, mga The Score, ESPN app, those kind of things, NBA app, of course. I check daily talaga, like updates on scores or mga injuries, news, diba? That's usually how I keep up talaga. Yeah, Facebook, Instagram, I always check. I follow mga pages then, or mga basketball pages, basketball blogs, those kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, when I have time, when I get a chance, I really try to watch the games mismo. Like, if it's showing on TV or, minsan streams. And those kind of things. Pretty much it.
Because obviously, I mean, we're all in the same generation, this millennial generation. When we started watching basketball as kids, walang social media. So it's really just NBA TV, BTV, and then that's it. And then sometimes you get the highlights on the website. But now, kasi content is instant, you get the clip, the GIFs right away, seconds after.
Yeah, that's true.
So we obviously know what's good about the social media age of being a fan. But I want to ask you, Philip, and maybe the others can chime in. Then, are there things, or what's one thing or several things that you miss about like the old days? And this is again the old days, probably being the early 2000s to the mid 2000s for us.
Yeah, for us.
There's something you miss about that era.
Yeah,
being a fan.
I guess what I miss most is parang dati talaga, parang our only option was to watch whatever's on TV.
That's true.
So parang you can't choose the game. So parang whatever game is on, that's what you watch. And I think what I miss about those days is I would always watch with my dad because he's also very much a basketball fan. So parang aside from, I guess that at that time, aside from getting all the games or info from the TV, I would get it really more from my dad, more of word of mouth kind of thing, diba?
Yeah.
Not just straight from a laptop or phone. I think that's one thing I love to do growing up, and even up to now, when we have the chance, we still try to watch together once in a while. Kapag magkasama kami, and I guess parang at least I remember back in grade school, it's really more of us talking face to face with our classmates, with our friends. Na parang, did you see parang this game kanina? Or did you see what this guy did? Whatever, Kobe scored 81 points. Mga ganun.
Right.
I think that's what I miss the most about that time in my life. Because now, you could just legit say it in chat.
Yeah.
Oh, look, like Steph Curry just scored 62 points. Or
it felt in a way it felt more natural before. If you missed the game, wala kang chance sa YouTube kasi wala pang YouTube. So hantayin mo yung replay.
I think it's on a more personal level back then talaga, because you really have to talk to the person face to face, and you have that different feel, different kind of connection with the people back then.
Pero weird, no? Like nowadays, lahat instant, lahat on demand. So parang I think right now really is the greatest time to be a fan kasi like lahat ng content readily available sa'yo. Unlike dati, kailangan mo sundin yung schedule ng schedule ng ABS-CBN. Like, as in you'll have to plan around kung anong time nila ipapakita.
Parang,
and if hindi sikat yung team mo, di ba? Parang wala kang choice. Wala naman siya sa national TV schedule and everything.
Especially kapag madaling araw pa, di ba? Minsan, ang aga pa ng game. So, sabi ko, sige, gigising na nga ako para lang manood.
Tapos minsan, hindi mo makita nga yung gusto mong teams na naglalaro. Kasi, like, NBA TV yung pipili ng teams na napapakita ng ABS-CBN. But right now, with League Pass, you could switch games pa nga in between.
Yeah. So,
very good time being a fan right now.
For sure.
And so from obviously now in the time of COVID also, marami tayong there are no fans in the stands, or if there are, they're very little. What are your thoughts on virtual fans? I know that we don't do it now kasi they all play in their own arenas. The teams play in their own arenas. But what were your thoughts on being a virtual fan last season?
Yeah.
Did you try? Did you try out? Nag-apply ka ba?
Yes. Yeah. So while I was in LA practically the whole from March onwards of 2020. So lockdown, quarantine. Wala rin ako magawa sa bahay. So parang then when the bubble started, obviously parang na-renew yung basketball fan in me, 'di ba? Parang I want to be part of the action, obviously. I think that was one of the most things I was excited for kasi moving to the States, like to be able to be closer to the action or to actually watch the games.
Yeah.
So parang medyo nasad ako na COVID happened and it didn't allow me to have that opportunity yet, hopefully in the future, diba?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I was at home like trying to research about the virtual fans and stuff. Tapos I was looking through the internet and then may parang sign-ups yung ibang teams because I parang found out na it's the teams who determine how they want the virtual fans how they want their virtual fans, how to get their virtual fans in the bubble. So parang there were a couple openings or virtual fan sign-ups for the Suns and the Clippers. So I signed up for both and I was selected for a couple regular season games, like one for the Suns and I think actually two regular season games for the Clippers. Or I think no. Yeah, one for the Suns, one for the Clippers, and then I think I got one playoff slot for the Clippers pa.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, parang lucky lang talaga ako na parang they had those sign-ups and I was selected. I don't know how many people actually signed up for that. But yeah, honestly, the experience was really, I think it's very unique because it's something that probably will only happen in this point in time. I don't know if they're going to continue it in the future or whatever.
Yeah.
And I guess what I think about the virtual fans, I think it was such a smart idea for them to do that, especially for the bubble, because nga, parang the players kind of felt isolated, diba? Nandun lang sila, parang wala silang pamilya, wala silang fans. I think that's the best and safest way they were able to get people to actually be as close to the action as possible. I mean, that's what the NBA wants naman talaga, diba?
Were you guys muted when you were virtual fans?
Sa alam ko, no. You can mute yourself if you want. Pero sa alam ko, no. I'm just not sure if like we're heard in the bubble arena mismo. But coming like people, how they did it kasi is Microsoft Teams. So virtual lang. And then we're all in one meeting. I think parang 30 people, 30 fans to one meeting. And then they'll have several meetings. So yung makikita mo sa board around, parang it's several meetings. Pasted there. So
that's interesting.
Yeah, there's one person or a few people that are assigned from the team parang to engage the fans there. Parang kinakamusta kami during timeouts or minsan the Clippers may mga trivia games, whatever, mga ganon or mga alam mo yung mga parang may mga dance cam stuff when you watch games. They actually added it in the virtual fan. So parang pinapasayo kami on the call or parang minsan papakita nila yung mga pets na yung mga ganun. So it's parang it's something really unique na you wouldn't find that in a regular NBA game where the fans are actually there. So it was very engaging and it's very fun and yung mga I think one of the cool things is parang kapag nag-free throw yung kalaban, like we're legit doing that. So parang so parang it's a great it was a great fan experience for me kasi it's one parang very unique especially in this time and I parang felt very close to the action. So I mean I'm not there in the court mismo but parang the atmosphere is there because I'm with the fellow fans watching.
Yeah, Philip, when you mentioned kanina that you were a virtual fan for some Clippers games, I saw Manzano's reaction. Parang na siya na konti. Natawa siya, pinipigilan niya.
Hindi ko alam kung pity ba or
I mean, I think it's important to note I'm a basketball fan first before like loyal to the Lakers, but I'm loyal to basketball more. I just wanted the experience. But if you were to ask me, would I pick a game for Lakers or the Clippers? Obviously, Clippers. Actually, yung playoffs, yung isang playoff games na I was able to be a virtual fan for the Clippers. Kalaban ata nila Nuggets I think second round na yun. Don't worry. I cheered for the Nuggets.
Tama.
Kasi gusto ko lang matalo yung Clippers.
Yung best part was watching the Clippers lose. Ako, I'll pay money for that rin
Agree.
Last note lang dun sa sa virtual fan ni Philip. Kasi like buong bubble, syempre nanonood ako sa League Pass. So, pag nakikita ko sa stories ni Philip, guys, follow him na lang sa Instagram. Plug mo na lang mamaya. Pag nakikita ko stories, nakikita ko sa virtual fan, right? So, habang nanonood ako sa League Pass, naglalaro ako ng sarili kong own versus Waldo. Pero ngayon, it's versus Philip. So, hanapin ko na sa virtual crowd. Like,
ako rin actually. Like, I tell my dad who's watching on the TV or something, pa, hanapin mo nga ako kung nasaan ako.
Yeah.
kasi, kinala ko yun
you'll be seen by millions around the world, so why not? Diba?
Yeah.
I cherish that moment. Tapos ma-zoom in ka pa no?
Tsaka
you're doing something wild.
Yeah, I think yung Phoenix Suns game actually was their last game in the bubble. So they were going for the bubble sweep, diba? May katabi akong walis. Para sa sweep.
Nice.
I was like, what can get me on TV kaya? Sige, dala akong walis.
Yeah.
Did it get you on TV? Parang hindi.
I don't think so.
Pero it's nice to hear that because none of us tried out to be a virtual fan. But you know what, guys? We should. The 5 of us, if ever meron man, who knows, diba? Let's try. And
I think
like
the Warriors games, they have virtual fans, if I'm not mistaken. I've seen, watching highlights of Steph Curry. May parang virtual fans na parang board dun. Siguro JV
depende ata.
Oo lang yun. Pag Lakers heat na ulit sa finals. Pero abot muna kayo, Franco. Playoffs.
Abot kami
playoffs.
Bad start lang.
Yeah. Actually, perfect transition. Siguro while we have a few minutes left to wrap up lang. What are your initial thoughts, Philip, on this early 2020-2021 season? In terms of like how the Lakers are doing and siguro what are your projections? And siguro what's been the biggest surprise so far and what are you watching out for?
I mean, predictions, obviously the Lakers are gonna win again. I mean, that's no question. That's no question.
I'm not gonna contest that.
I'm gonna be honest. That statement from Philip had more confidence with what Manzano said last week. So
Humility.
For sure. I really want the Lakers to win again. And I guess so far this season, I think it's I think things to look out for talaga is the whole COVID situation. It's starting to affect the league, especially
it is.
Seth Curry, diba, was out. Now Philadelphia had to play with like 7 players.
Kevin Durant.
Yeah, Kevin Durant. I think Jason Tatum's also out for contact tracing and all. I think it's gonna be very interesting to watch out for that. I really hope na parang matatapos din yung season somehow. And I just hope like the players staff and everyone stays healthy.
And that could affect then the regular season standings then. So that's something that it's not
gonna play a really big part in this season talaga. But aside from that, it's so interesting to see them playing with no fans pa rin. But I mean, so far some of the teams that are really impressive to me, honestly, the Suns are really good.
Yeah.
Like Chris Paul and the Suns are really good. Also, in the East, honestly, Indiana's low-key really good.
Yeah.
Even Philadelphia, when healthy, they're doing really well.
Finals of Philly, diba? Finals of
Philly.
We'll see.
Too early to tell.
The Sixers have a pretty good chance as long as they're healthy. And I think for me, I really loved watching the rookie so far because their rookie, their introduction to the league's very, very different compared to the other batches. Now they'd have the regular draft, they'd have summer league, diba? And then they'll have the preseason or summer camp, like a longer one. So it's very unique to see how the rookies are attacking, improving each game, and like a few weeks pa lang into the season, you can see how they're starting to get the hang of it. Like LaMelo Ball already beat Lonzo Ball, diba? So parang interesting storylines happening already.
That's true.
Yeah. All right. Okay, so I guess that'll do it. But before we wrap things up and tie a bow over this tie ribbon around this first ever special
Guesting.
edition of the Forecast with Philip. Philip, anything to promote? Anything to shout out? Baka meron kang gustong i-promote dyan. Yan.
Yeah, if you guys want to follow me, I mean, I talk about basketball a lot on social media. So yeah, you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Philip_Sevilla. And then I also write for the Los Angeles Sports Nation blog. So if you want to check that out, that is laxsportsnation.com. They talk about all different types of sports and any team in Los Angeles. So it's a good place to check out all the teams in Los Angeles. And yeah, I guess thank you lang talaga to you guys for having me. Like, it's been a real pleasure, a great opportunity for me. I always love to talk about basketball, talk about sports, anything that I love. It's something we're all passionate about. So
That's
thank you for the opportunity, guys.
Yes. Thank you also, Philip. Super refreshing to hear from other fans, because we've been talking to the four of us have been talking to each other for the last few months, and it's nice to hear other people also. And who knows, Philip, baka we might have you back again soon, and let's keep in touch. It's an exciting season ahead.
Yes, for sure.
Please do follow Philip and follow the Forecast PH as well on all our socials, and subscribe to us on YouTube and on Spotify. If you want to follow us in our personal accounts, it's here somewhere on the left or on the right of the screen. Nakita niyo na dyan. Hindi ko maalala now. But that's going to do it for it's somewhere there. Si Frankie J na bahala. That's going to do it for another edition of the Forecast PH.
Wait,
thank you to...
May last question pa tayo.
Okay.
Prime JV versus Prime Philip.
Oo nga pala.
Yun na yun. Prime JV versus Prime Philip. Walang excuses. Walang outgoing.
It's just a yes or no question. Straightforward answer. So JV, who will win a one-on-one game?
Walang straightforward. Walang kasi maraming aspects sa game of basketball. Guys.
Oh my God.
So, JV, huwag ka na mag-aspects. 2 minutes na lang.
Straightforward. 1v1. 1v1. Who are you gonna take yourself, or are you gonna be humble and say it's Philip?
Gun to my head, pipiliin ko sarili ko.
Wow.
Philip. Well, pipiliin ko sarili ko, manalo-matalo.
That's true. How about you, Philip?
Win or lose.
How about you, Philip?
I mean, honestly, it's gotta be me. I mean, JV's a really good player. Like, he gave me a hard time back in freshman year. I can
validate na.
But same as JV, I gotta be confident in myself.
Yes, sir.
All
Okay.
right, that's nice. Good to hear.
You know what? We have to settle that soon, guys. After COVID, let's settle that soon.
Let's do it.
Wag na lang. Akala ko prime pinag-uusapan. Hindi naman ngayon. Parang...
fresh off injury naman ako, JV. Baka may chance.
Ako, fresh off work weight.
Saan yan?
Ayan. All right. Okay, that's gonna do it. Thank you, guys. Wala tayong na-settle doon, but thanks for the belief in yourself. So that's gonna do it for another edition of the Forecast Philippines. In behalf of the Real Deal JV, the back-to-back Rookie of the Year Manzano, Franco, got mixed up, and the Human Internet Pro Manzano, and of course our special guest, Philip Sevilla. This has been your PR boy next door, Mark. We'll see you when we see you. Peace. Bye, guys. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.